All right, here we go. So, thanks for watching this video. The title of the video, I think, is going to be that I turned 60 this year and I'm restarting this YouTube channel. So, I'm just going to tell you the way it goes. This is my second attempt at doing this channel. And right now I am recording this on my iPhone, which is just on a tripod in front of my my monitor in my office in my garage. That's what this is, right? So last year, just to give you, today is December 26th, 2005. Okay, I just said 2005. It's 2025. It's December 26th, 2025. 60, right? Anyway, around this time last year, it was just before the holidays, I said to my son, I said, I'm thinking about doing a YouTube channel. And I said, what do you think? And he was like, well, I think you should probably try and see if you'd like to do it before you spend a lot of money, getting all the equipment and trying to make everything perfect. And I did the exact opposite of what he described. I went and bought a lot of stuff. I bought a bunch of lights and I bought I got a new lens for my camera and all that other kind of stuff. And I got kind of mired in the tech and it became too hard. So, and I just kind of put it down, and I put it down for some other reasons that we had that I'm going to talk about too, but I just kind of put it down, right? So this is my second attempt at this channel. And the original name of the channel was The Third Quarter, which I thought was kind of a clever name because it's talking about the kind of third quarter of your life. If you just round numbers, if you live to 100, third quarter is 50 to 75. I turned 60 this year, so I'm going to talk about that. But the reason why I started is I thought it was a good idea, and I had a couple different ideas for what I want to do in the channel. But like I said, I started, I watched a million videos of other creators telling you how to do it and all that other kind of stuff and all the equipment you need and all that. And I spent a bunch of money on that, and I have all that stuff. I just haven't set it up because I'm just like, I just want to see if I can talk on camera and have it be relatively engaging. Maybe people like it, maybe you don't, all that. I'm just going to go with a simpler approach. And one of the things that I have to deal with, that I have to work on, is that, I'm 60, and sometimes I kind of lose my train of thought. I just kind of get lost in, I'm trying to find the word that I want to use, or I stammer a little bit, or I do the ahs and ums and all that. And I just got to kind of get past that, right? Just kind of get past that. And part of that is me just getting comfortable with looking at my phone, which is what I'm doing right now, and talking to it and seeing myself on camera. One of the other reasons why I went and spent a bunch of money on this stuff when I first got it is I was like, oh, is that what I look like? And I didn't like the way I looked. And so I tried to do a bunch of stuff to try to make me look better, better lighting and soft background and all that other kind of stuff. I'm going to talk about that too. But the first thing I'm going to say is, like I said, the channel name, there's me stammering. The channel name is either going to be The Third Quarter, or it might just be Jim is Okay, because my name's Jim and I'm okay. I'm not bad. I'm not amazing. I'm okay. I'm okay at stuff. I'm okay at a bunch of different things, right? So one of the things that I am going to do on this channel is I swear a little bit, because I just talk like a regular person and regular people swear. I'm not doing it to be profane or anything like that, but you just kind of say swear words as adjectives. So a perfect example is, people say, what the fuck? I'm 60. What the fuck? What do I do now, right? So what is the channel going to be about? So if it's called Jim is Okay, then it could be Jim is Okay at guitar. See that guitar? That's a guitar amplifier. I've been playing guitar my whole life, so I might do guitar stuff. One of the things I want to do is I really want to learn how to do home recording, right? So I bought the there's a Apple program called oh my God, Logic Pro. And it's kind of Apple's version of its recording software. And it does a lot of cool stuff. And you can do complete music things. So I might like teach you, if you're interested in that, teach people how to do home recording as I learn how to do it. Because I don't know how to do it at all. But one of the best ways to learn something is to teach it yourself. Anyway, so, or it might just be life advice stuff. And, you know, like I said, I'm 60 and I'm doing okay. And I've, you know, kind of gotten through life as I have so far. And I still have a job. And, you know, I've saved some money and I know how to kind of do some things. And so it might be just a thing about trying to figure shit out in your 60s, right? You know, from your late 50s, when your career is kind of on the wane part of your career, until you go into 60 and you decide you're going to get ready to retire and how to figure all that stuff out. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, so you shouldn't take financial advice from me, but I could tell you about what I'm doing and, you know, if it works or whatever. I'm doing the best I can. That's kind of the thing with this is, you know, when I turned 60, I was just like, all right, so that's, you know, like people go, oh, that's a big milestone. And it is, because, you know, you're like, oh, okay, so you're definitely on the back, you know, past the back half of your life, right? And the stuff that I'm dealing with at 60 that we're all kind of dealing with is people around you that aren't they having some health issues, or people who have kids that maybe they're having some issues with their kids as their kids become adults and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. Just for me personally, I'm just gonna be as honest as I can with this channel and the stuff I talk about, without giving you a lot of personal information. But, you know, like I said, my name is Jim. I live in Los Angeles right now. December 26th, it happens to be pouring rain right now. We're having a storm. And we had a bad storm in early January last year, where we had that firestorm and everything. And I live not far from where that happened, right? And we had a bunch of stuff that happened to our house. Our house was fine. Thankfully, we didn't lose our house, but we know a lot of people who did. And the house issue cascaded into a bunch of other things for us for the year. So we spent the whole year dealing with house shit. And that's stuff that, like, if you've lived in a house for a while, like we've lived in this house for 26 years. So it's paid off, which is awesome, but we've lived in here for a long time and stuff is starting to break down, and like everything happened at once this year. So 2025 was a big fucking year for house stuff, and you just got to deal with it. It seems to cascade and happen all at once. It feels very overwhelming. It felt very overwhelming for me. So this is a rough year for like dealing with house stuff. But, you know, then I think about, oh, you know, I had an aggravating year. I had to put a new roof on the house, and I had to do, you know, we had some water damage and some other stuff. So I've been, you know, complaining about that stuff to people. But at the same time, I know people whose house burned down and they lost everything. And so it puts it in perspective as like, you know, what are you bitching about? You're fine. You're healthy. Your house is okay. You got to like get over it. So I'm 60. I've been married for 94, so 31 years, right? So we got married in 94. I've been with my wife since 1987, right? So it's coming up on 40 years, right? It's great, but we've been together for 40 years. It's a long relationship, and you know it's gone really, really well. But you know that's a long relationship, and you know I met her in 1987. We have one son. He is 23 years old. He's finished his college education. He's got his master's degree. He's looking for work. He's going to do great. 5 For me personally, both my parents are gone. My parents, they've both been gone for more than 10 years, each of them. You know, my dad had lung cancer because he smoked his whole life, and he died from that. My mom had heart disease. She died a few years before my dad. They were divorced, so they were not close. Let's just say that. But my wife's folks are still alive. They're in their 80s, and, you know, so she's dealing with that stuff of kind of dealing with, you know, their health concerns and stuff. They live in the Midwest. We live on the West Coast. She has siblings that live there, so they've kind of, you know, got an eye on it. But it's just that thing of parents are getting older. How do you deal with it? How do you prepare for that stuff? How do you prepare for the eventualities of you know, older parents? And, you know, me, I'm the youngest in my family. My wife is the oldest in her family, but I'm the youngest in my family. So my siblings are all, I have 3 sisters, and they're all older than me. And they all have, you know, one way or another, they have their health issues that they're dealing with. That stuff's tough. You get these things that happen where, like, my oldest sister's husband, he died last year. He passed away from, you know, he had kind of an aggressive. He had an aggressive cancer, and it took him pretty quickly, and it was a pretty big shock for everyone. And, you know, these hits are getting closer, right? They're getting closer, and it gets to be pretty overwhelming, and just trying to deal with that stuff is tough. So that's stuff I'm trying to deal with. And if you're anywhere around my age, you're probably dealing with stuff that's similar. And it's difficult. And so depending on where this channel goes and what I end up talking about, it could be that kind of stuff. You know, you're dealing with stuff like that going on. Siblings and family members that are struggling. I also have friends that, you know, are in their early 60s and stuff like that. And having, like, friends, people you've known your whole life that are, you know, dealing with whatever the challenges are, dealing with like maybe they're having some health challenges, or maybe they're you know, their career ended before they were planning on it, or they're, you know, getting too old to do the work that they do, or all that kind of stuff. So that's a big thing, man. And it's just fucking hard to deal with. And you see, like, I've got friends that, you know, I think, boy, that is, you know, you've been making bad choices for a long time, and now those choices are starting to catch up with you. At the same time, you're like, well, you know, you're a grown person, and, you know the possibilities of, you know, what's going to happen if you continue to the behavior that you have. So, you know, I see that stuff, and it worries me because, you know, I want to be a good friend and a good person and help people out. But, you know, at the same time, you're like, well, you know, you're a grown-ass man, you're a grown-ass woman, you can do what you want. But I just want people to live and be happy and healthy and live well and all that stuff for as long as possible. That's what I want to do. That's why I try to take care of myself as best I can. So that's just kind of the gist of it. This is I'm not doing any cuts or anything in this video, I don't think. So I'm just going to, like, have this as it is. I'm looking at the time. It's just about at almost 14 minutes. And I think I've kind of talked long enough to just do an introduction. And I think it's a pretty good start. So we'll see. I am probably just going to do this where I just turn the camera on, and I'm eventually going to, like, fix the lighting and all that other kind of stuff. But this is just kind of where it's going to start. And just to see if this is of interest to anybody. It might be. If this is interest to you, and, you know, everyone says this. By the way, the like and subscribe thing, all that is just because the way YouTube monetizes people, in case you don't know this, I think most people know, but the way people make money on YouTube is by subscribers. You have to have, I think, at least 1,000 subscribers, which takes a while to get, from what I understand. At least 1,000 subscribers, and like it's something like 10,000 hours of watch time before they'll basically turn on the advertising spigot, and then they start to give you a little bit of money, and then people can start to make a little bit of money on YouTube. It takes a while, from what I understand. So so this is part of that, and there's a couple other things like that. This might be a tutorial channel. It might show you how to do particular things. I'm also a graphic designer, so like I've done a lot of that kind of stuff. So it might be that. Don't really know yet, but this is just where we are. This is where it's starting. And if any of this seems like it's interesting to you, subscribe to the channel, like it, or, you know, I think in order to like put a mean comment in, you have to subscribe. So I think that's the kind of the trade-off. Maybe not. But anyway, this is where I'm starting. I hope you like it. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope I continue to do this because I find it interesting and engaging, and I've got something to say, and maybe it can help some people. So thanks again, and